Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IVCC Living Room Stage and Gallery, which is something we've been doing ever since, COVID. And so this makes about, I don't know, 16, 17 weeks we've been doing it. We're going to keep doing that, keep the arts alive in the area. If you know of somebody who would make a terrific guest, make sure you contact me. All my contact information is on our Facebook at IVCC Fine Arts, and you can join that and contact me. Let me know who, if you'd like to be on. I'll talk about anything that has to do with the arts, both visual, performing, concerts, whatever. I'm open. I've had some great guests on the show, and all those videos are available here on our YouTube channel that you can watch. There's been Eric Chambliss, one of the stars of Jersey Boys, on tour. Howard Johnson from Monty Python and improv and local artists and all kinds of great people have been on the show. And so we're always looking for more. Look for all those videos right here on our YouTube channel, which you can connect to through our Facebook, IVCC Fine Arts. Okay, I've talked enough. We have spent a lot of time with the visual arts. Last week we had our family reunion show with the Mamma Mia cast, which was an awful lot of fun. And I want to get back to the gallery. We had Chris Coughlin on a few weeks ago, excuse me, to talk about North Central Illinois artworks. And we're getting back to that because tonight I've got a great guest, and I actually have a portrait done by her hanging in our gallery over there. And we'll get more into that in just a second. But anyway, I want you to please welcome to the show, Kari Matuszewski. Kari, you there? Did I say your name right? There you are. I always call you Kari, so
yeah, that works too.
Yeah, that works. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Staying in. Sinuses are, flaring up. So if you hear me chowing down on a cough drop in a little bit, that's just because I'm very hoarse. So how have you been handling the whole lockdown thing?
We've been, and I say we as in me and my 6-year-old. My husband got to go to work the whole time, but we've been handling it pretty good. We get bored, but we get out. I find that we're doing more things outside the house now and make more naturey type things. So
I think a lot of people have discovered that. Yeah. I've got a 60-year-old and he gets fussy too. So, well, Kari, you have done some great work, and I was trying to think of the whimsical, of course, is always probably one that's used to describe what you do. But before we even get into some of that stuff, when did you realize that you wanted to be an artist?
I can honestly remember being a kid and wanting, like, always wanting the artist card when you play the game of life. Like, I just always wanted to do something creative, and just always gravitated towards making things and drawing things and painting. So, so I guess, as a child.
From a kid.
Yeah.
Did you study it formally anywhere, or is this all God given?
No, not at all. I did go to Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, and I studied accessory design there. So I have my bachelor's in that, and getting that degree, you would take a lot of art classes as well. And then I took all the art classes I could take in high school. So
yeah, of course.
Definitely training. Yeah.
We have a friend who designs jewelry. I used to work with we're talking back in the dark ages, the last millennium,
Mm-hmm.
But in the 80s, when I moved back to Illinois, and I was working on getting a theater open in Peoria, I worked at a magazine down there that was for an art company.
Neat.
Yeah, and it was clip art, which I don't know if that even exists, but
I don't know either.
For like
but
newspapers.
I'm old enough to know what it is. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you would subscribe to this service, which was called Print Media Service, and it was initials were PMS. And even after PMS became, to the forefront, I'm like, okay, well, I work for PMS. But I wrote for their magazine and all that because I too have always been interested in art, and the colorblind thing always held me back a little bit. But
wow. Yeah.
line drawing, but I worked with great artists there, and I was just in my element. I just
Yeah.
loved that. One lady did terrific jewelry that was very unique, and everybody
Okay.
had their own little niche. But so did you like living in New York?
I did.
How old were you?
I was born in Illinois. My
Mhm,
parents lived in Peoria when they had me, or right outside Peoria, and
mhm.
we moved to New Jersey when I was 3. And I ended up moving back here 9 years ago. So I was 30 or almost 30 when I moved back here. So I do miss New York. I had a lot of fun doing,
Yeah,
like, having things to do, and
of course.
just the diversity. I'm a people
Yeah,
watcher. So I miss that kind of thing. I don't miss the crowd and the traffic, but
I know.
I miss being in the pulse of everything. So,
That is so unique there. I mean, that I did
mhm.
my time there when I worked for a company, production company there, and I loved the life of New York, but living there was such a hassle, you know.
Yeah, expensive.
Yeah, yeah, and now it's gotten so much worse. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and Broadway's not coming back now. They say until possibly March. That was the heartbeat of the
Yeah,
place. But
that really is. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of shows. So I miss that too. So the theater
we
aspect.
miss we miss doing them at the college. I miss seeing
Yeah,
them.
I
I
bet.
do,
Yeah.
but I'm not willing, excuse me, to risk my life to see one or do
Yeah,
one.
no, I don't. Yeah. We were supposed to go there this summer actually and canceled that vacation. So we stayed
Lot
here.
we're supposed to go on a cruise. Dear God,
Aw.
worst place you can be right now. Okay, so you moved back to the area, and at what point did you start doing these portraits of people? Was that after you came back or
Yes.
before? Oh,
Yes. I um did a lot of jewelry design when I moved out here, and when I maybe the first couple of years I was out here, I was
mhm,
making and selling jewelry, and using a lot of vintage components, and kind of redoing them and making them more modern. And then I ended up teaching at the college.
oh,
I
okay,
see. So
yeah,
I teach continuing ed, and I teach a lot of, like, jewelry making and
yeah,
canvas art and stuff like that. But um, I was doing that, and then I had a baby, and time was limited.
right,
Um, and I just started painting, like, just for fun, as, like, relaxing, like, time for me, and
right.
just kind of took off from there. So
So I'd like to show our audience what we're talking about here. Now, Chad, you have one of the actual people who was, excuse me, based on, as well as the shot we do. That's Chad. Okay, this lovely couple. You can tell us the backstory here if
this,
there is one.
this is Betty Ann, and John Casper. And Betty Ann is from LaSalle, and her mom had me do a portrait of them for their anniversary.
Okay, so let's see that portrait. And there, there it is. This is Kari's style. How do you describe your style?
Um, Quirky.
Quirky. Yeah.
Yeah, quirky, lighthearted.
But I mean, clearly, it's clearly your interpretation of these folks,
Yeah,
which is awesome. Let's see another one. You got another one there, Chad? Because we're we don't have our before one.
this is my daughter,
Oh, okay. What is your daughter's name?
Birdie.
I'm sorry.
Birdie,
Oh,
like a
okay.
bird.
Oh, okay. That's beautiful. And it's I hear Birdie. Is this also
Hey, what am I wearing? She is not my child. So.
Now, do any of these folks like come out of your imagination, or are they all based on
Yes.
something? Oh, okay.
A lot of times too, I do a lot of blind contour to get the face, and
Mhm.
I'll Google different pictures of celebrities, or, like, I
Okay.
use a lot of, like, old timey, like, Hollywood stars, and just kind of like like blind contour, where you're basically following lines of the face and not taking the pen off the paper.
Right. That's so cool. I have a Facebook group. What is it called? The Golden Age of Hollywood, and they
Mhm.
post. I mean, man, those were the days.
Yeah,
Now,
they
see,
were.
I mean, talk about glamour.
Mhm.
I don't want to call those a caricature, because caricature brings to. Am I correct in this?
Um,
Because
I mean, I don't get offended when, or it doesn't bother me if they, because it's basically a character drawing of an individual, and I tend to pick out the more obvious features in the
right,
person I'm putting it. So I mean, so yeah, I don't think
no,
they look just like them, but I think there definitely are details that I do put in that you can tell who that is.
because when I think of caricature, I think of well, first of all, that I never ever want one done, because I don't want to know what the first thing is that jumps out at somebody that I'll be self-conscious for the rest of my life. But you think of the that commercial. I don't even know, some insurance company where the lady is a caricaturist and
Mhm.
says, "What do you think?" And the giant sandwich and the all that. I think that's a caricature.
Yeah,
The street artists and stuff. Let's take a look at some more of your stuff, because it's so cool. I love your style.
thanks.
The colors in one of them remind me of a very 80s distinct style. Okay, and we got this family. This
So
is not.
yes, this is it's from the late 60s, early 70s, and it was a portrait. The young man with the striped shirt wanted to give his mother for Mother's Day, I believe it was.
Oh, great idea. And let's see the finished product there. Perfect. Oh, the 60s.
Yeah.
What a.
When he gave me a bunch to choose from, like to go off of, and of course, like I immediately just gravitated towards the vintage picture. So I'm like, we're doing
Right.
that. So
All right. That's so fun. We got another one there, Chad. Is this your dog?
no, this was one of the first pet portraits I did. But it is I'm trying to remember. I think her name was Lindsay, but this was her dog.
Oh, cute. Let's see another one. Oh, okay. We'll go back to another one. Now, Carrie, you were nominated, as was I,
Hmm.
for the Omni Arts
Hmm.
Award.
Yes.
Was it? That was 2019, right?
Yeah.
Last year?
Last fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
Last
fall.
fall. Yeah.
Seems
We were in
like
this.
a time ago.
I know, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Carrie and I were in the same category, which was our individual,
Yes.
our
Yeah,
individual.
individual artist.
Yeah. And they ran it like the Academy Awards this year, where nobody knew who the winner was. And we were we were the first group called. And they
Leading
had
cattle to the slaughter. So.
and the MC, who's a good friend of mine, hadn't gotten his bearings yet, or hadn't received all. He was supposed to go down the line and interview all of us, and we were
Mhm.
supposed to talk about, what we felt we did that was important
Mhm.
or whatever. And we got our little bags that
Mhm.
they handed out. And so we were all standing there holding these little bags.
I know where
And
they're going, obviously.
nobody asked us anything. We just sort of stood there. Oh, well, then they announced the winner, who wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. So I think after an excruciating amount of time, I said, "Can we sit down?" So, yeah, always
I,
the bridesmaid.
I get stage fright, so I was. I'm
Yeah.
just like standing there, like, okay, what are we doing?
And I don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need a producer for this next year, because I can keep this going. Let's take a look at some more of your artwork there. Okay. Oh, another dog portrait. Do you like doing the pets?
I do.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah.
Can you go back
Moira.
one? I was good. It's Moira. The
Moira.
style on this dog is it's a little more detailed than some of the stuff you do. Would you
Hmm.
agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
More
really good.
realistic. I don't know. I feel like dogs are kind of, or pets in general, are goofy enough anyway. So, like so I feel like I don't need to exaggerate anything to show their
True.
personality. They already got it. So,
Okay, let's take a look at Moira Rose, my favorite character. Moira's looking pretty good. Now, what's the name of her wig she's wearing here, do you
well, This was a commission that someone wanted. I
Okay.
won't name his name because I don't know
Yeah.
if he's given her the piece yet, but
Yeah.
this was for her walk-in closet, and they love Schitt's Creek, and they wanted
Yeah.
a picture of Moira, and then her favorite flowers are sunflowers. So they wanted to incorporate them
That
in
is
that.
so
So I
cool.
just gave her a big, flower afro.
Did you watch Schitt's Creek?
Oh yeah.
Ah, we
I love
watched.
that show.
I know, we watched it. We rewatched it.
Yep.
Both shed a tear when it ended.
Yeah, I know. It was so good. And then there's like teasers that there's going to be another season, but I don't know what to believe. So,
I did hear they were going to make a movie. I'm pretty sure
okay.
COVID put the kibosh on that. But
Okay.
yeah, that was my favorite. That was just my
Yeah, it's a
favorite.
great show.
Moira. When you gave these, when you first forwarded these to Chad and I looked at this and I'm like, wow, I think that's Moira, but
Yeah.
maybe it's somebody around here who
Yeah,
looks
right.
like her. I don't. No, that's beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
love the hat. Let's see what we got next here, Chad. Yeah. Okay.
This is a logo I did for Maven Hair Salon. They are in the West Clocks building,
Sure.
ran by
Okay.
Adrian Hinkle. And
Mhm.
so we did she wanted something kind of witchy and with a crystal ball. So those are her actual the rose tattoo on her hand is her actual hand tattoo. So
No kidding.
that was my
That's fun.
interpretation of that.
That's fun. Very cool. So this is one of those pieces that you can walk up to the store or their shop, I assume, and you see it and you go, "Yeah, I did that. I recognize this guy. Tell us about him."
The pie guy owns Myrtle's Pies,
Right.
and our mutual friends Dan and Brian commissioned me to do a portrait for him, and of course we had to incorporate the pie.
Of
So
course. Let's see that portrait. Those are damn good pies, I will say.
yeah, they are.
I say, can we go back and take a look at Dave again? That, that impish smile. Okay. Before and after. Perfect. Well, let's chat a little bit. What did you like teaching when you did that, the continuing ed at IVCC?
I do like teaching, but I'm such a shy person, so it's really hard. Like like this is torture having a conversation. No.
I know. I
But
know.
I'm more of a behind the scenes person, so teaching a class, it's fun and it's exciting to teach people that really want to learn how to do something that you know how to do.
Yeah.
But I just get stage fright. So,
Oh,
yeah, but it is fun teaching. I love teaching kids. I
yeah.
mean, they're pretty excited about
Yeah.
what you're teaching them. So,
And they're sponges. They'll remember
yeah,
everything you
yeah,
say.
they do.
Yeah, well, now the whole teaching thing has become a lot more complicated
I know.
because
I
this
can't
fall
imagine
we're all
teaching
online.
on this. I can't imagine teaching on Zoom.
Yeah, David's adapting to it, and if you're
Yeah.
watching, that's Dr. Keister, who
Yeah.
also does theater. He's adapted to it quite well for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, what I do out there, which is direct and choreograph,
You can't do. Yeah.
no, no. But we're being creative. We're doing the show every night or every
Yeah.
Sunday night, and I've
Good.
had a lot of performers on, and I think we're going to do an online Halloween show.
Awesome.
So,
Oh, awesome.
no, free admission. It's just, performing. I feel the same way about your artwork. It's great here on the screen. It's so
Mhm.
much cooler to see in person. But I think visual arts translate a little better because theater is a communal experience.
Right. It's
Vibe of the
music.
audience.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I just keep trying to be creative, and I've got a script in there for the old Vincent Price um, classic, The House on Haunted Hill,
Oh,
that's been
neat.
adapted. Yeah, so
That's awesome.
it's like a radio show, I think, version. I
Yeah.
haven't cracked it yet, but it's like that we could do online. That we could do
Yeah.
online.
Old radio shows would be pretty cool to
Yeah,
like redo.
I
I mean,
think so.
like Orson Welles and Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah. The Bickersons, that would be
Right,
fun.
exactly.
Yeah. Um, Oh, what was I going to ask you? It escaped me that quickly. Isn't that sad? Oh, you mentioned Westclox. Are you a member of NCIS, North Central Illinois Artworks, or do you do anything with them over there?
I have done stuff with them. I don't know if I'm a member or not. I'm like the world's worst member. I'm part of the Ottawa Art League, and I never go to the
Okay.
meeting. So
I know.
I'm
They'll be fine.
kind of a hermit. So
Yeah. And they just started that open space gallery, I think, over
gallery,
in
yeah,
Ottawa as
in
well.
Ottawa, and I've done stuff with her, with Amanda Wagan and Marissa.
I do not know them, but they got a great concept there.
Yeah, and the gallery is really cool.
Yeah.
And we did a
I-
communal mural in there, and I have a
Really?
little. I'm talking with my hands below the camera,
It's
but
okay.
but I have a little floral crowned abstract lady face in that mural, so you should go check it out.
I will when it's
I'm
when it's
coming this
safe.
fall. Yeah, exactly.
Although we do have, thanks to our mutual friends Dan and Brian, we have pretty much Darth Vader Velcroing back, the
Yeah,
valves a little bit. So a
good
lot of,
though.
it's like having great shoes. Everybody's like, "Oh, great mask. Where'd you get that?"
Where'd you get that?
Have you ever had a gallery showing of your own?
I've had one at Cat's Eye in Ottawa.
Sure. We know
Wine
Francie.
bar. Yep, last May. Or yeah, beginning of May.
Was that exciting?
Yeah, it was. I've never I had like a senior show when I was graduating college, but to have like my own show, that is very exciting.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nerve-wracking. So
Well, they do serve wine there, so
mhm.
that
So
should
that
have
helped.
helped.
Yeah, that did help.
Any plans once this thing is over of doing something like that again?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I did a lot of um, specific pieces for that. So so it's always nice when you're doing your own art. I mean, I love doing the portraits for people and stuff, but when you're able to paint what you want or, create what you want, it's more fun.
How many portraits have, to your knowledge, or if you even count, do you think
Uh,
you've done now of
maybe over 200.
really?
Yeah, in the 2-year span that like
Wow.
I started. Yeah.
That,
Yeah, it's
that's
awesome. It's a
impressive.
lot now that I've never actually thought about that until now, but yeah. So yeah,
Now you're
200.
like, I worked too hard.
Yeah, I did. No.
What's the most unusual one you've ever gotten? Have you ever gotten anything that you said you're kidding?
No, I'm open to doing whatever. One that does stick out is I have a woman that I've done a couple portraits for, but she did one specific for her friends who had 2 dogs that had passed away, and they were named after the dog star Sirius, and I can't remember the other name, but so I had to paint the dog's face into like a star. So that was kind of interesting. It sounds totally kooky, but it looked really cool.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
yeah. And I've also been asked to do portraits of The Weeknd, who's a singer. And that's not that it's weird. It's just
Yeah.
really listen to his music because I'm old. So
Yeah. I got you beat. I guarantee.
yeah.
Oh, twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So the standard request. I mean, I think these are terrific, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Well,
Mhm.
Dan and Brian gave David and I ours for a Christmas present,
Yeah.
which is great. It's so
Yes.
personal. But then this would be great for like a wedding to do for the couple.
Yeah. I've done a couple wedding present portraits. So
And it
yeah.
would be, excuse me, it would be great for like what I didn't even think of that, a retro picture of the family.
I love like doing that or doing stuff that's in a theme. Like I did one that was a couple that it was, I don't know if it was their Halloween costume, but they had these big, crazy like eyeglasses on and like colorful hats. And that's what she
Mhm.
wanted as an anniversary present. But I love doing stuff like that too.
Yeah.
More
The
so than the traditional.
out of the box stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so different. Each one is so unique, and you have to study an actual photo to do it.
Mhm.
What's that process like? Do you look at it and go, I know exactly what I'm going to do immediately, or do you mull it around?
Sometimes, usually when they're commissioning me, it's via Facebook or Instagram. So they're messaging me, what do I need? And I usually just, I ask for two things: as many pictures as you want to send. And then I always say, I like quirky shots. I like, doing fun stuff. So don't be afraid to throw me those. And then I color. So then I get a bunch of pictures and I look through. And if it's more than one person, like I don't necessarily go from a group picture. I take individual pictures and kind of put them together. And then I kind of just pick a feature, or like I just look at the particular picture and see what pops out at me most.
Okay.
So
Chad, I think the portrait Kari did of David and I, this Dr. Keister and I, and our friends gave us this for a Christmas present, and I laughed hysterically. I mean, it was so fun and so thoughtful. So I'm letting Chad, the Chad I keep referring to, by the way, if you're a regular viewer, that's our my good friend Chad, who texts all these shows for us from his home in Princeton. Okay, I'm on the right, David's on the left. And I would like to know, I know we don't have the original reference picture, but what popped out at you first about either of us?
let's see. I know that
If
for
you
you
remember.
is the blonde hair, and then like your goatee and stuff like that. So I definitely needed to throw that in there. And then I've seen plays and stuff with you, so I knew that you were, like I got a good idea of like your personality and that you're fun, and so that's hence the arm attitude. So
Yeah.
and then for him it was, I think every picture that Brian did send, he was wearing a suit jacket, so I felt like I needed to. And does he have like square shaped glasses too?
Yep.
I love doing like the actual shape of the glasses.
That's so fun. I'll tell you about the conversation. Thanks, Jed. About the conversation that ensued with that one. I posted that. Excuse me. We were doing Mamma Mia, I think, and excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm fine. It's sinuses, everybody. I wear a mask. During Mamma Mia, and Ron McCutcheon from Princeton was one of the dads in that, and I was one of the three dads as well. So we got to know each other a little bit. And I posted that, and I said, "I think this is so great." I said, "I don't think I stand like that a lot." And he said, "Oh my God, you do! You absolutely do." He goes, "If you're watching a scene, I'm like, if I'm thinking." I'm like this. He goes, your arms are akimbo all the time, and I've always loved the word akimbo, and I'm like, so there I am, akimbo.
Yeah,
Sounds exotic.
it does.
Okay, so you kind of, how often does a personality trait, if you know some, okay, you said you knew me, and you know that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So a lot of times, like when my commissions are people I know, which is awesome. And then I mean, but like so 50% maybe I know them, 50% I don't. I usually just ask for their name and I kind of creep their Facebook, like but you see candid pictures. I mean, you see their personality. Sometimes you can see better pictures of like angles and stuff like that. So I just kind of do that. I kind of get to know in a creepy way.
There's nothing creepy about creeping Facebook. I do it all the time. All right, I think we took a look at this one. She's fun. Now, the texture of the glasses.
They are tissue paper and then just like regular paper that I poured a bunch of ink on.
Okay,
So it was black tissue paper for the lens, and then like a regular like art paper that I basically just made red and
so you do a
whatnot.
little mixed media from time to
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Yeah, and you can kind of see in this picture too, it's got it has like texture to it, like the hair. Like I use a texturizer in the paint just to kind of give it some depth. So
Oh, okay. That's very fun. She reminds me of somebody. I don't know who, but she definitely reminds me of somebody. All right, Chad, let's go to that next one. That looked very interesting. This is great.
My
What's the story
buddy.
here?
I've always liked birds, and I also like sea life. So there's three things I collect: birds, insects, and then like sea life creatures. So,
It's fine.
but as I did name my daughter Birdie,
Mhm.
but yeah, I wanted to do a picture with a bunch of parakeets on it and do something with color, and like I really like parakeets that lime green and yellow.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking at the pattern on each one, and how, is it, I'm trying. I can't quite figure out how it perfectly goes to the line. Were you that careful coloring in between the lines, or is that?
no, so basically what I do is I take a blank piece of paper and I just start painting it a bunch of different colors,
Mm,
and splatter paint around and whatnot. So that's what that blue and the green and the white splats in the picture are. Then I take a different color, um, and I paint around the images, or like I kind of, well, first I take chalk and I draw out like shapes of birds and the lines at like the little stands that they're perched on. But
right.
um, so I'll take some chalk and I'll draw those features, and then I'll paint paint around the image, and then it just kind of comes to life. And then I take a marker, and you can see the like white chalk lines and stuff. I just kind of
Mhm.
give them a little bit more of fine detail in
Okay,
the
that's. I thought it might be something like that. The so basically, what you're telling would-be artists is what you tell a sculpture: chip away everything
yeah,
that doesn't. So basically, paint
in
over everything that doesn't
reverse,
look like
yeah,
a bird.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
that's awesome. That's cute. All right, what next we got here, Chad? Oh, you do collect bugs.
Yes. So this is my taxidermy bug collection, but I just did a bunch of different. I did art in the park in Ottawa last year, and so I did a bunch of these bugs, and I made the little, like, I took jewelry wire and bent and cut and twirled them and curled them and made the little legs, and then I kind of mounted them so they looked like a taxidermy.
That's very fun. I like the bottom right one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one too.
Yeah, kind of a stained glass thing going
Yeah.
on there. That is fun. Do you have a lot of stuff like this hanging around, or was this a
You
unique one of a kind?
No, I made a bunch of these for the art in the park, but or I
Oh,
don't I've sold them all, so and then I haven't gotten around to making. I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna keep this one and hang it, and then end up selling it, which is awesome. But then I have like nothing to hang. So
I don't know. I collect. Well, David and I both collect a lot of styles of art. Mostly,
Mhm.
it's the Art Deco. We love
Yeah.
Arte, and I think my color blindness has something to do with that because
Huh.
he's very bold lines.
Yeah.
And Deco, I've always loved anyway. I
It's
used to
slandered. Yeah.
say, I used to say, man, I was born too late. I would have loved to have lived in the 20s. Well, now I
Yeah.
got my wish and it sucks so far.
You jinxed us.
I know. Our second run through the 20s just is
Right?
off. What other you said you used to make jewelry, which I know there are pieces that you can order and stuff like that, but tell me a little bit about that.
Um,
Making jewelry. Just,
well, I'll start with when I was in college, I did accessory design. So, but growing up, I remember like making eyeglass chains and friendship bracelets, and early 90s, late 80s big earrings. And um so then I went to FIT and I got my accessory design degree, but I learned how to last shoes. I learned how to make handbags, and I even made we had to do like a desktop blotter and pencil
oh,
cup and stuff. That was the first project we were allowed to do. So,
designer.
which was so boring, because I'm like, I just want to get to the handbags and the shoes. But So I did that. And then I worked as a fashion assistant for a for Burlington Coat Factory. They're so it's not glamorous at all once I say the company name, but I worked as an assistant, and then I was a assistant buyer, buying men's big and tall. So that wasn't very fashiony for me, but I did that for
No.
10 years. But
Paid the rent.
in the meantime, I was kind of making my own clothes and like thrifting, and then I would thrift a lot of old jewelry, and it would be broken or whatnot, and I would fix it and make it into new pieces, and I would wear them to work, and then the girls at the office all liked it, so then I would start selling them stuff, and then I finally opened an Etsy shop, and did well with that, but I'm not tech savvy, so putting like the images up and stuff was just kind of hard for me to maintain. But when I moved out here, I did a lot of of the art festivals and stuff, and did my Etsy there, and but then once I had my daughter, I just kind of I was worried she was going to eat like a bead or something, so I kind of stopped messing around with that stuff until she was old enough not to put stuff in her mouth.
And can assist you. Hand me that
Yeah.
red one.
Yeah. But yeah, and then when she was born too, though, like I would be creative in different ways. Like I of course would single-handedly make all they do the Valentine's Day boxes at preschool. So I did like a vintage camper. I'm like, oh, I got this. Or her Halloween costumes, like when she wasn't even a year old, and I did a daily birdie every day of her in a different Halloween costume.
Fun.
So I would come up with these crazy little outfits. Like she was Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. Wednesday from Addams Family. She was this little bald baby, and I put a black braided wig on her. But it was, so I was staying creative that way. And then, I just got into painting again, and
I want to say on Modern Family, wasn't there an episode where Cam, when Lily was tiny, he dressed her up as iconic stars like Joan Crawford and stuff, and got the wig stuck?
Yes, she was. I did Little Edie. I did Frida Kahlo, but I did Little Edie, and only maybe 60% of Facebook knew who she was, but.
So sad.
I know.
So sad. The Edie that Kari is referring to is from Grey Gardens, the documentary they did many years ago about, they're related to the Bouviers in a ramshackle mansion. And so they did this very sad but very intriguing Can't Look Away documentary. And then, maybe 10, 15 years ago, Jessica Lange and Drew Barrymore. And it was
that's a really good one too.
Oh, they were perfect.
Yeah,
but Little
I
Lady,
love the costume, so.
What a mess.
Yeah.
David keeps wanting to do a Grey Gardens evening, like a party.
So. I am your neighbor, so.
I know, you live down the block. We'll just say, hey. Yeah.
I'll borrow a bunch of cats and just show up at the party, so.
Well, I got my assignment of who I was, which was a raccoon. So I'm like, wait, a supporting part or
right?
An audition for that.
Well, wasn't Grey Gardens a Broadway show?
It was a musical.
Musical, okay.
Yeah,
I've never seen it, but I think no, not that good.
Nobody has, because I think it opened and closed in maybe 2 weeks, something like that.
Okay.
Well, I was just reading something about the most expensive Broadway flops, and I think that was on there. That and Carrie the musical, which I think opened and closed in one night. Betty Buckley. Come on, that's too good. So over the years of messing with jewelry, drawing, painting, did you tackle something that you've never approached before that you were either happy with the results or said, "Oh, I'm never doing that again"?
Yeah. No, painting. I never really picked up a paintbrush until about 3 years ago, like really picked it up.
Really?
Yeah, I really like I would always do live drawing and stuff like that, but I just never I've always been one that wanted to make something with my hands. So drawing and painting, it I don't know, I felt like it took a lot of patience. Like with painting, you have to wait until it dries and
Yeah.
layers and all that. And so I never really had the patience for it. And then um I don't know, I don't even know what like prompted me to want to start or pick up a paintbrush, but I knew I wanted to watercolor,
Yeah.
and I just kind of picked it up. And
I agree. I'm one of those instant gratification people.
mhm,
I can't wait. It's,
yeah,
got to keep
and I have
moving.
to make sure that it's not, yeah, and you spend a lot of time on paintings too, so it's like you can't really rush through it, because if you do, then it's going to ruin it. So I've learned
What
patience, but
What is your favorite style as a civilian? Um, I mean, as an artist, but
mhm.
like you go to the art museum, who jumps out at you?
um I love pop art, pop culture, that kind of stuff. So Andy Warhol, I know that like everyone love, that's,
Yeah.
but him and
Peter Max.
I do like Peter Max. I do like like his 60s and art color, like the covers and stuff he used to do in posters. I like bright colors.
Yeah.
Frida Kahlo is another one of my like
Oh
just
yeah.
favorites. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a particular favorite style, but I do tend to be more towards the abstract, the pop, and like the more modern art. I do like classical art, but I do just love, I don't know.
I'm very much the same way
Yeah.
with that whole thing. Um, when we were in Hawaii last year, there was a restaurant called Frida's,
Oh,
and
cool.
reproductions of her
Yeah,
stuff everywhere. It was fun.
that is fun.
Who did that movie? Selma Hayek, right?
Hayek, yeah.
It was a good movie.
It is a great movie.
Let's take a look at some more portraits here. Or I'm not sure. Chad's got the list there.
This is like being on that show, This Is My Life.
Yeah, true. This is fun. Does this person exist, or is this from your
No,
imagination?
I just wanted to paint someone with a funny bathing cap. So there's like I go back towards my like vintage, my love for vintage. So and I like the color pink. So you'll
I
see.
knew I liked you.
Yeah.
I love the whole retro thing.
Yeah, me too.
What do we have next, Chad? Okay.
My alien. I did this for Peggy Clydesdale when she had a White Trash Gallery.
Oh, sure. White trash.
So she had a show. The theme was alien. So I painted an alien.
I went to one of her shows before she had the place in LaSalle at
Yeah.
the Willows in Utica.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I love the way she had everything displayed. There was
Yeah.
McDonald's
She's
bags and
talented.
garbage.
I really like her style. I have a couple of her pieces.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite. I mean,
So
I like.
she included you in a show
Yeah.
that she had called Alien. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
This was well, I recently was commissioned to do a bunch of a label for a Midwestern brewery, and they're known for like putting abstract stuff on their labels. And so I was kind of like trying to come up with some fun, colorful things that I would want on a can if I were drinking beer. And so this was just one of them. I just was kind of like messing with like a plaid kind of look, and the green and the hot pink. So
Now I'm gonna say it's green.
the background's green, and then it
Okay.
has like yellow chalk kind of going through it.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you about. How'd you achieve that effect with the texture within the chalk?
Just using different. This one was done on Procreate, so which is a digital computer, a digital. It's like Photoshop, and
Okay.
I'm not too technical, but when this whole quarantine thing started, I bought myself a iPad so I could draw on it, just so I could do something that made me happy. And so I just been playing around with it. But yeah, these are different like pens and chalks and stuff like that that you can use for texture.
That's going to be my next question. Now, computer graphics and computer art, you have messed with it then, right?
Yes.
And
Yes. And technically I have an associate's in graphic design, but that was
technically,
really long, it was a really long time ago. So I'm sure all the technology now is completely different than it was in 2001. So
I just read that smart houses are becoming obsolete during the time they're being built because technology just keeps
yep.
jumping. So, yeah. I remember when I worked at that magazine I was telling you about,
Mhm.
when when computer art was being introduced. Oh my God,
Yeah.
and if we were between stories or assignments or whatever, the writers were given a big old computer, and we helped clean up the artwork one pixel at a time.
Okay.
Now we have two pictures here. I think, yes, a couple pictures. Chad just alerted me. You were commissioned to do these, but the place decided not to use them, but we.
Yes, they had seen the guy that owns the place had seen my Instagram, and his wife really liked I did a portrait of a bunch of boobs, different sizes and shapes, and there was a mastectomy scar on there. So they commissioned me to do a bunch of breast cancer awareness. They were doing a breast cancer awareness beer from seeing this breast picture that I did. And so they wanted mastectomy scars and whatnot. So that was very depressing to draw. So
Yeah.
so they were very but they loved the artwork, but when they brought it to their legal team, the legal team was afraid that they were going to get like someone was going to be offended. And I totally respect that. I don't have any hard feelings.
Sure.
But I wanted to show it because I felt like it was more for empowerment. It wasn't
It's
meant to be offensive. So
let's take a look at here. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. That is very cool. What technique is this? Same
digital.
as this is
Yep,
okay.
this is just digital.
Okay. And then, oh, we got the ribbon in there, see? And
Yep.
we have this one. Also digital?
Yes.
Cool. Very nice. I think that those are important works, and good Lord, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and
Yeah.
the walks and stuff, that
Mm-hmm.
they need a new logo. Hey, you're listening.
Yeah, right.
Now, hopefully that was a bar or a lounge
Mm-hmm.
that commissioned them. Hopefully they love your style enough that they're going to have you do something else.
Oh yeah, no, it's a small brewery. But yes, we have been in communication
Good.
discussing
Non-boobage.
something else. So yeah.
Non-boobage. Now, Kari does not have a website, but you can find her on Facebook.
Yes.
I know a guy, excuse me, who designs and maintains websites. He's
All
running
right.
tonight's show. You should talk
Okay.
to him.
Oh, all right, Chad.
I bet you could get him for a deal.
All right.
Okay, if you want to know where, good heaven,
That's all right.
bad timing. If you want to see Kari's Facebook page, you go to Village Idiot Kari, and Kari is spelled, as you see underneath her name, Kari. All right, so
Yes.
Village Idiot Kari, and also on Instagram, which is at Village Idiot Kari.
Mm-hmm.
What's the significance of Village Idiot?
Well, when I was in high school, my mom had a flower shop in this cute little downtown area. And I wasn't yet driving. So I worked for my mom every summer at the flower shop, and I couldn't drive. She'd send me to the bank, or she'd send me to go get lunch, or she'd send me to the grocery store for something. So I'd walk everywhere. And I just remember like saying to my mom, I'm like, people are going to think I'm the village idiot because I'm walking all over town. And then that just always stuck like as a personal joke between me and my mom. And then in college, we had to come up with a brand name. And I did Village Idiot Boutique. And it was catchy. My teacher liked it, so I just went with it. And I've been told by professionals. I shouldn't have the name, but I think it's easier than remembering how to pronounce or spell my last name, which is Matuszewski. So
I think it's fun,
I love
Villager.
it. No, I love it. And I think then that's people kind of know me by it. So
Well, also if you were doing serious pieces
oh
or
yeah.
landscapes, but what you do is so fun and
Yeah.
it's got movement and everything. I think it merits a fun name as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not
We were talking about Andy Warhol,
Mhm.
and I used to escort tours, motor coach tours and stuff for vacations,
Oh yeah,
um,
yeah.
for Green River Lines, yeah.
Yeah.
And out east, there's the Norman Rockwell Museum,
Hmm.
and I I'm not the world's biggest Rockwell fan. I can
Hmm.
appreciate the whole fun, uh,
Americana.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Americana. Um, but it's just not something that I need on my walls. So I
Right.
was like, oh, well, whatever. And the place was stunningly gorgeous. It was
Yeah.
fall. And what I did not know was every year they have a different artist exhibited with the Rockwells, with that
Oh
artist's take on pretty much the same subject matter.
yeah.
And when I went that first time, the other artist was Andy Warhol.
Oh cool.
Yeah. So to see Jackie Kennedy
Mhm.
interpreted by Rockwell and right next to a Warhol, that was
Oh, that's
terrific.
cool. Yeah.
And there was, and then they had in their rotating gallery, um, his nephew. He has a nephew who has a very different, distinct style, and well,
Warhol or Rockwell?
Andy Warhol.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
whoa, it's like he dropped some of the numbers of
Or
letters of
DK, is it
war.
Warhala? Warhala?
No, it was some like what? Wow, wow, I don't remember. But there's a kids book that was really entertaining. It was called Summer with Uncle Andy, because
Oh
every
yeah.
summer he would
I
go
have
to the city.
seen that. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the guy who's now,
Oh
you know,
cool.
an artist in his own right. But
Yeah.
that's what I like was a juxtaposition
Hmm.
of something. And I think that's why I like your portraits so much. It's like here's a formal family portrait, and
Yeah.
here we're not taking ourselves quite seriously.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it.
So Carrie, anybody can commission you. They say like we talked about
Mhm.
weddings and anniversaries and Mother's Day or for no reason whatsoever, and the holidays are coming up,
Yep.
and we got ours for a holiday present.
Yes.
So they basically contact you and you give them
Mhm.
a quote as to
Yeah,
how.
I normally start my portraits for like a couple would be $60. So it's basically like $30 a person or a pet.
Right.
So just
Which
kind
is
of
terribly reasonable, very
yeah.
reasonable. And you think about the personal touch this Christmas, and
Hmm.
who knows which way we're going, but maybe you don't want to leave to shop out of the
Yeah.
stores anyway. So
I ship all over. So I do I recently, because of Dan and Brian, have a portrait in Tasmania with
oh,
Dan's
dense pencil.
pencil. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's cool.
So I should have said world-renowned artists.
Yeah. Someday.
When I
Some,
was on the board of directors for the National Dinner Theater
mhm.
Association, blow these many years ago, I was a membership director one year, and we had a dinner theater from Brazil contact us to become a member of the National Dinner Theater. And some of the people were like, ooh, we can be the International uh, Dinner Theater Association. I'm like, we have to change the logos. You sure? But we didn't. Um, that's that's so cool though that you're in a different country.
Yeah.
Where have you seen your stuff either on purpose or randomly that you
Um,
kind of went, wow, that's cool that I'm seeing that.
um, I'm like it's like, sounds like, I'm sure this is what everyone says, but I feel like I'm such a modest person, and I constantly, like, for the portraits, for instance, I always think that, like, people are gonna think that, I don't know, like, they're gonna take them seriously and think that I'm drawing goofy on purpose, or she doesn't, and some people can look at it and think, I'm always terrified that people are gonna be like, oh, she thinks she can draw. So, just because they're so out there and like abstract and squiggly. So I'm very hard on myself, but I was second place in the Starved Rock Country Starved Rock Media, Shaw Media did a
Shaw.
poster contest, and I did a portrait of Starved Rock, and I basically took the image and broke it into a paint by number, so it would have a vintage look. And it took me forever, but I love that piece. Like, it really, it was, I will never make another paint by number again, but it really, I really liked how it turned out. So
I saw it. I did see it.
yeah, it was at
because
it was at the Omni
okay.
Awards too. So yeah.
Yep. And also, I'm friends with the director of PR out at Starved Rock, Kathy, and I think she might have posted the finalists or
Okay, yeah.
whatever. Yeah, that was a beautiful piece. That was
Thank you.
absolutely stunning. So really, for $60, you can give a gift that's going to last a lifetime and bring a smile.
Yep.
And, I think you said you're hard on yourself. I think every artist is.
Oh, I know.
When I got a billboard in Branson for a show I was doing, I
Yeah.
should have felt a lot differently than going, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm old and 20 feet
Exactly.
tall now.
Oh, but that's exactly how I feel. So,
Yeah, I don't know. And I think that's just a common trait of any
oh yeah,
artistic person is
yeah,
you're connected to everything so much, whether it be theater, whether it be art, any
yeah,
of that. But just shows you care and that you're
yeah,
passionate.
exactly.
You've got
Yeah,
a passion for it.
yeah,
Well,
I do.
Kari, this has been a great deal of fun.
Yeah,
I do want
it's a lot
to
of fun.
and see, I told you it was easy. No need to have stage fright.
No, I warmed up, I feel like, so.
Yeah, you did. You came in warm.
I'm ready to do my next press junket, so.
Oh, okay. I'll call Barbara Walters.
Yes.
But for
No,
our
thank you.
audience, we'll post this on Facebook just to remind you to please visit Kari's site, Village Idiot Kari, Kari, and just for no other reason than to look at this amazing, incredible body of work that she's created,
Yeah.
and all fairly recently. I mean,
Yeah.
that's insane. And for you Instagrammers, same thing. Village Idiot Kari, at Village Idiot.
Yes.
I don't. The IVCC Theater Instagram account I have nothing to do with. I see it's been updated every so often. I'm like, good job, Ashley. I don't do that, and I don't have Twitter.
No, me neither.
No,
And I don't know how to do it, so I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't tweet or whatever. Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
But anyway, thank you so much for sharing your story, your
thank you.
artwork. So much fun and so
Thanks.
easy. So everybody, thank you so much for watching again tonight. I forgot to tell you, all these videos that we do are available here on our YouTube channel, and we do this every Sunday night until we're allowed out of the house again. Which, who knows? When we miss our audiences, we miss performing for you, and we miss each other as the IVCC Theater family. But we're being safe. I hope you are too. So be good. Wear a mask. Follow the rules. We'll see you. And tune in again and spread the word. Share these videos, and we'll see you next time for IVCC Living Room, Stage, and Gallery. Thank you so much.
Thank you.